tell people a little bit what you do.
Sure. So I'm Mark De Laverne with Sam Schwartz. I'm based in Chicago, but unfortunately I spend more time in other cities than Chicago because we don't really innovate that much more in Chicago. I work with different cities across the country on innovation, transportation solutions, change, lots of different things. Right now we have, we've been working with cities on different types of scales, but some of the same issues that are facing Tampa, both on mobility and accessibility. The basic framework, though, for our innovation district is, how do you make the mobility work and how do you make the accessibility work? For so long in this country, we focused very much on mobility. How do we get from A, being our origin of our house, to B, to our work? And we've built bigger roads, and that's what we focused on. But that came at a price of accessibility, and the fact that once we got to our destination, we couldn't get anywhere else. It took me 25 minutes to get from the Embassy Suites to the CVS to over here this morning. In Chicago, I could bike that in 4 minutes, and that's the challenge that you need to start looking from this. It's not just simply how do you get people to the innovation district. It's once they're there, how else do they get around?
What do we do once we get there?
Exactly.
So one of the things that is interesting about our situation here is there's a lot of players. We have the city, we have the county, we have Temple Terrace, we have all of these different players that are kind of in there. Now, have you seen that in a lot of innovation districts, or is it usually you have one group that's decided this is going to happen and they have kind of the political clout and the power and the everything else to make that happen, or do you see kind of a lot of areas kind of come together sometimes?
I think that a lot of innovation districts are being formed because everyone's scared of not being the one innovating, and oftentimes it's led by a university because your fear is you get that brain drain. You've invested in these kids that are sort of always smart people, and then after 4 years they go someplace else, and that's what you don't want to lose. We've been working in Grand Rapids, and Grand Rapids has a number of universities, and they see their students as their #1 asset, so how do they keep them there? So a lot of innovation districts are built around that, but then bringing all the other players in. And I think that's one of the things that for innovation districts you need to look at it as a portfolio, of all the different aspects it needs to be and all the people that are involved, as opposed to just a top-down effort of how you do this. And I think then that also begins to apply as far as how you work with the community on an innovation district. A good example is a case study up in New Haven in Connecticut, where they were planning on doing a large investment in biotech, basically right between downtown New Haven and Yale University, and went through a whole process until the residents there, which is one of the lower income areas of the city, said, we don't want this, these jobs aren't for us, this doesn't speak to us, why are we doing this? And basically they went through a 2-year process of then starting a community process to talk to the people so that they could say, how can we make this also for the people here? Not for a 14-year-old who's in 8th grade who's going to graduate in 8 years and we want to keep them here, but also for the people that are here as well. So that's having more people involved, and particularly from a community standpoint and a city standpoint, can help begin to make that case to everyone.
TampaInnovation.com